Yo, wagwan! Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chef Andre Henry and you're watching Chef Henry Kitchen. I'm gonna show you how to make the best stew pork recipe. And this stew pork recipe you can make for your whole entire family. Hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell. Here is all the ingredients. First, I'm gonna say this, a little L tip. I already mixed up my seasoning, but if you travel with high blood pressure, always buy seasoning that's low in sodium. 3 different types of sweet pepper. I'm just using one of each. The red one, then the green one, and the yellow one to add color and vibrance in the pork chop. 2 large onion, green onion, and lots of people know it as scallion if you're in Jamaica, where I'm from. Thyme. And always remember to always wash your vegetable before using them. The star of the show is the pork chop. I wash the pork chop using vinegar, rinse it off with water 3 times, so 3 cycles. I drain the water from the pork chop and you want to drain it thoroughly. Before I add seasoning, I'm just gonna get all of my vegetable and green season cut up. You don't want to angle meat when you're cutting up your green season. Now I finished cutting up my vegetable and green season, and this is what I'm gonna use to cook down the pork chop to the final stage. I'm gonna add season to the pork chop and I'm gonna get it well seasoned. I have my powder seasoning mix out and I'm gonna tell you what's inside here. 1 tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning, 1 tablespoon of meat seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon of jerk seasoning. And I also add 1 tablespoon of pimento berry. And allspice is the same as pimento. Allspice farm is just because it's ground. I'm gonna add some onto the pork chops. And remember again, if you travel with high blood pressure, use less seasoning where it contains sodium. Now I'm gonna add little browning. You don't wanna add too much. You can use soya sauce, but I'm gonna use little browning to give the pork chops not a dark color, just a light color. Two-tip is fine. Now I'm gonna let the pork chop sit and marinate for half an hour. You can season it up overnight, but half an hour is fine. I forgot to mention, I'm using vegetable broth. And this is what I'm gonna use to cook down the pork chops. And I'm using 1.5 cup. And remember to always taste, because some of these things are salty. And if you find out it's that salty, you can just dilute it with water. I'm using my conduction stove and I'm using one of my favorite pots. And I'm gonna set it to 5. And I love this bottle that I store my vegetable oil in. It gives you measurements. I'm not gonna add a lot of oil. That is 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. I'm excited to do this in front of you guys. And I hope you guys are liking the video and smashing that subscribe button and also leaving your comment. I'm gonna add the pork chops. I'm gonna let them color inside the pot on each side for 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna flip them on the other side. And I'm gonna let them fry on this side and repeat the same process, 15 minutes. And number one thing when you're cooking, always check on what you're cooking. I'm achieving the perfect color on this side. So I want the same color on the other side. Now I'm gonna check on the pork chops, and the 15 minutes is completed, and you can check out the color. Use less oil. Don't have to drain the oil. I'm gonna place the cover on and let it steam fry for 10 minutes. That flavor and aroma gonna just set in with the seasoning. It's been 10 minutes and I'm gonna check on the pork chops. Now I'm gonna add my vegetable broth. I am using the vegetable broth to stew down the pork because I'm making the best stew pork recipe using pork chops. I'm gonna let it boil for a minute and I'm gonna do a quick taste to check my seasonings. I'm gonna take up some of the vegetable broth, add it on top of the pork chops. I'm gonna do a quick taste. I'm gonna add a little more seasoning, just half a tablespoon. Just in the middle where it's bubbling, and just mix it around. Perfect. Now I'm gonna cover and I'm gonna let it cook down for 30 minutes. Now I'm gonna check on the pork chops. I'm gonna flip them. So I come and check on them at the 15-minute mark. 15 more minutes to go. Before I added my green seasoning and vegetables. And also, I'm gonna turn my stove down and low for the remaining 15 minutes. And the slower you cook the meat, the more tender the meat becomes. Most of the liquid is evaporate, so I'm gonna add some water, 1.5 cups of water, but I'm gonna add some seasoning into the water. Just 1 teaspoon of the seasoning. I'm just gonna mix it in. Now I'm gonna add the vegetables. Now I added the vegetable and green seasoning. I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to check on the stew pork. And it's been cooking down. I'm just basting the pork chops in sauce and also moving them around. I'm gonna leave the cover off so the sauce can be thickened, and I'm gonna leave it off for the remaining 10 minutes. Cooking pork chops this way, you're gonna enjoy the recipe. And if you're just joining, hit that subscribe button and also share it to a friend and a family, this recipe. And when you make this recipe, you always wanna come back and tell me in the comment section. I'm going to check on the pork chops, and my stew pork is finished cooking. I'm gonna make a plate and I will see you all for the taste test. I have my stew pork on a plate and I'm gonna go in for the taste test. I'm gonna cut a piece, nice and tender. I don't even have to chew that hard. It's melt in my mouth. I'm gonna try a piece of the rice. And you also can go check out that video. Go and make this recipe. Come back, leave your comment in the comment section. And also, check out the gungo rice and peas video. I'm gonna post that as well. And see you on the next one.